In 2026, cameras are smarter than ever. They never miss. The Sony A7 IV tracks eyes through crowds. The Canon R5 Mark II predicts movement before it happens. Green boxes snap across your screen, locking onto subjects with machine precision. Beep, beep, beep. They are perfect, and that's exactly why I stopped using them. I traded clinical perfection for human intention. This is Alt Buzz, where we don't just review gear, we question what it does to us. If you're tired of chasing specs and feeling disconnected from your photography, subscribe. Because today we're talking about something deeper than autofocus speeds. We're talking about what happens when the camera does all the thinking. To understand why I walked away from the most advanced autofocus systems ever made, you need to see what they've turned us into. Let's be clear about what we're dealing with in 2026. The Sony A7 IV and Canon R5 Mark II don't just focus, they think. Deep learning algorithms recognize human eyes, animal eyes, birds in flight, moving vehicles. They predict motion paths. They track subjects through obstacles. The technology is remarkable. It's also quietly replacing your judgment. Here's what nobody talks about in reviews. When the camera decides what matters, when it chooses the subject, when it confirms the focus point, you become something different. You're no longer a photographer making decisions. You're a button presser confirming what the algorithm already chose. Clinical perfection, every frame sharp, every eye tracked, every moment captured, and somehow completely soulless. I spent 3 years in this world. 3 years shooting 500 frames at a wedding, hoping a few would be good. Spray and pray, because why not? The buffer holds thousands of shots. The AI will pick the sharpest one. But here's what happened. I'd come home, scroll through the images, and realize something disturbing. I couldn't remember taking most of them. I remembered staring at the LCD screen. I remembered the green confirmation boxes. But the moment itself, the reason I lifted the camera, gone. Autofocus didn't just get better, it quietly replaced our judgment. We think we're improving because our keeper rate goes up, but we're not seeing better. We're just missing less. And there's a massive difference between those two things. I was looking at screens instead of life. I didn't even realize I was disconnected until I picked up a camera that refuses to think for me, the Leica M11. Or if you want to go full analog, the Leica M6. These aren't computers. They're tools, metal, glass, and mechanics. No screens, no beeps, no artificial intelligence deciding what deserves to be sharp. Just a viewfinder, a rangefinder patch, and your judgment. The first time you look through a Leica rangefinder, it's confusing. You're not looking through the lens like a DSLR or mirrorless camera. You're looking through a bright window offset from the lens. And in the center, there's something strange. 2 overlapping images. Ghost images, one from your eye's perspective, one from the rangefinder mechanism offset by a few centimeters. Your job is simple. Turn the focus ring until those 2 images align. When they become one, you're in focus. It's mechanical, tactile, human. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, it humbled me. I missed shots, badly. Motion blur because I focused too slow. Out of focus frames because I misjudged the distance. Street moments I saw but couldn't capture fast enough. I got frustrated. I questioned why anyone would choose this in 2026 when AI can do it perfectly. I almost gave up. Manual focus doesn't reward you instantly. It humbles you. But then something changed. Not in the camera, in me. My hands started learning distance. Not from a manual or a YouTube tutorial, from repetition. 2 meters feels different from 5 meters. The resistance in the helicoid, the metal-on-metal friction as the focus ring turns, it becomes muscle memory. Your brain starts creating a physical map of space. My eyes learned anticipation. I stopped reacting to moments. I started predicting them. When you focus manually, you have to think 3 seconds ahead. You watch how a subject moves. You estimate where they'll be. You pre-focus to that distance. You're no longer a spectator waiting for the camera to confirm what it sees. You're a participant, You're inside the moment before it happens. Manual focus forces anticipation, and that changes everything. Here's a real scenario. I'm walking through a narrow street, golden hour light cutting between buildings. I see a man approaching from about 30 feet away. Weathered face, beautiful side light. In my Sony days, I would have raised the camera, half pressed for autofocus, waited for the green box, then fired. By the time all that happened, he'd be past the light. Moment gone. With the Leica, I knew he was about 3 meters away. I turned the focus ring to 3 meters before I even raised the camera. When he stepped into the light, I lifted, framed, and shot. One frame, one moment. No hesitation, no hunting, no lag. That's when I understood. Manual focus isn't slower. In the right hands, it's faster than any algorithm. If you're enjoying this kind of thoughtful content, my website is linked below for deeper essays and perspectives. And if you want to support this work directly, there's a $5 membership. No perks hype, just keeping slow, intentional content alive in a fast world. But here's where most people get manual focus completely wrong. Everyone assumes manual focus means perfectly aligning that rangefinder patch every single time. For portraits, for product shots, for anything stationary, yes, absolutely. But for street photography, for documentary work, for capturing life as it unfolds, there's a technique that's faster than the most advanced AI autofocus system money can buy. Zone focusing. This is what the masters use. This is how Henri Cartier-Bresson captured the decisive moment. And it still works in 2026. Here's how it works. Set your aperture to f8. Set your focus distance to 2 meters. Now, because of depth of field, the physics of light passing through a lens at that aperture, everything from roughly 1.5 meters to 3 meters is acceptably sharp. You don't need to confirm focus. You don't need to align the rangefinder patch. You don't need autofocus to lock on. You just need to know distance. And distance becomes instinct faster than you think. Your eye learns to judge it. 2 meters looks different from 5 meters. Walk the same streets enough times and your brain creates a spatial map. You know where subjects will be before they arrive. Subject enters the zone. You lift the camera, you shoot, zero lag, zero hesitation, no autofocus motor spinning up, no hunting back and forth trying to lock, no half press waiting for confirmation, just light, glass, and sensor, or film. Doesn't matter, the principle is timeless. I've tested this against the fastest autofocus systems in the world. In controlled scenarios where a subject walks toward you at a predictable pace, zone focusing wins every single time. Why? Because there's no computation, no decision tree, no algorithm trying to guess what you want. You already know what you want. You set it, you shoot it. This is faster than AI autofocus, not by chance, by design. This is how Cartier-Bresson worked, how Gary Winogrand worked, how Joseph Kudelka worked. The decisive moment waits for no one, not even a computer. And when you understand zone focusing, when you internalize it, manual focus stops being a limitation. It becomes a superpower. AI predicts. Zone focusing prepares. This isn't nostalgia, it's a choice. I need to be absolutely clear about something. This isn't anti-technology. I'm not telling you autofocus is bad. I'm not saying you need to throw away your Sony or Canon. I still use autofocus for certain work. Fast action, sports, commercial assignments where the client expects every frame technically perfect. Autofocus has its place. What I'm saying is this. We've gained so much capability that we forgot to ask what we've lost. Autofocus captures the image. Manual focus captures the intent. There's a difference between shooting 500 photos hoping one is good versus shooting 5 photos and knowing exactly why you press the shutter each time. There's a difference between a camera that decides what's important versus you deciding what's important. Perfection versus meaning. Automation versus attention. Ease versus effort. Manual focus forces me to slow down, not in a frustrating way, in a clarifying way. Every frame costs me something. Attention, anticipation, effort. And because of that cost, every frame means something. In a world where artificial intelligence does everything for us, where cameras think, where editing is automated, where even the act of seeing is outsourced to algorithms. Choosing effort is an act of rebellion. Maybe that's what we need more of. Not nostalgia, not elitism, just intention. You don't need a Leica. You don't even need manual focus all the time. You just need moments where you make the decision, where your hands, your eyes, your brain are fully engaged, where you're not waiting for a green box to tell you it's okay to press the shutter. Photography isn't about perfection. It's about connection, to the moment, to the subject, to yourself. If you felt disconnected from your camera lately, if it feels like it's doing the seeing for you, if you scroll through hundreds of images and can't remember taking them, maybe it's time to take back control. I genuinely love to hear your experience. Have you ever tried manual focus? Did it frustrate you, or did it change how you see? Have you ever felt like your camera was making decisions for you? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. If this video resonated, if it made you think differently about photography, super thanks are always appreciated. They help me keep making thoughtful, slow-paced content in a world that rewards fast and loud. And before you go, if you're still here, if this connected with something in you, subscribe. Not for the algorithm, not because I asked, but because you believe photography is more than megapixels and autofocus points, because you believe in intention over automation. Let's keep making photographs that matter.